very warm welcome to the Convocation ceremony for the graduates of Christ deemed to be University. I am Gana Jayagopalan, Faculty, Department of English and Cultural Studies, and I will be your MC today. Neil Gaiman, the popular graphic novel author, said, and I quote, "Fairy tales are more than true, not because they tell us that dragons exist, but because they tell us that dragons can be beaten." There's no better way to reminisce about your journey in the last year. Congratulations on reaching this milestone in your life, a milestone monumental to the batch that has braved it all. This is a significant achievement and calls for celebration. This convocation marks an important rite of passage in more ways than one and is a joyous yet solemn occasion. The University Convocation 2021 will begin with the University Anthem. This will be followed by the lighting of the lamp by the Honorable Chancellor, Dr. Father Paul Achandi, Honorable Vice Chancellor, Dr. Father Abraham VM, Pro-Vice Chancellor, Dr. Father Jose CC, Registrar, Dr. Anil Joseph Pinto, Controller of Examinations, Dr. Johnny Joseph, and the Deans, as the University Choir sings the prayer song. Following this, Dr. Father Jose CC will lead us in prayer.
Christ Lord our God, we thank you for you have loved us into life. In you we live, move, and have our being. You are the beginning and end of everything that we are and do. Lord, we present before you these dear children of yours, whom you entrusted to our care a few years ago. Together with us, they have explored the realms of truth about themselves and the world. As they prepare to graduate into wider horizons of life, Lord, we place them back into your hands. They are yours, Lord. Keep them close to your heart. Infuse their hearts and minds with true wisdom, genuine love, and a burning desire to serve you and their fellow human beings with intellectual, personal, interpersonal, and societal skills they have imbibed over these years here at this university. Enable them to contribute their might through the virtues of excellence and service to make the world a better place for humanity and all of creation. Into your hands, Lord, we commend them, along with their hopes and aspirations for the future and their very lives. Amen.
It's my honor and privilege to welcome you all to the Convocation 2021 of Christ deemed to be University. The Convocation is presided over by our beloved Chancellor, Dr. Father Paul Achandi. He's also the rector of Dharmaram College, Bangalore, our mother institution. He has an MBA from North Maharashtra University and a PhD from IIT Madras. He was a faculty and coordinator of the School of Business and Management of the university in 1990s and later was the director of Amala Medical College in Kerala. A warm and most cordial welcome to you, Father. The university is ably led, especially during one of its most challenging times of pandemic, by our Vice-Chancellor, Dr. Father Abraham V.M. He has a master's degree in mathematics, MS in computer science from Iona College, New York, USA, and PhD in mathematics from Bangalore University. He has published many scholarly papers in the area of graph theory. My hearty welcome to you, Father, for this convocation. I would like to extend a cordial welcome to Pro Vice-Chancellor, Dr. Father Joe Ceci, Registrar, Dr. Anil Joseph Pinto, Controller of Examinations, Dr. Johnny Joseph, Directors, Deans, Heads of the Departments, Program Coordinators, Faculty members, and non-teaching staff, and the alumni members of Christ University. My most cordial welcome to Mr. Jugnu Oberoi, President of Christ University Alumni Association. The most valued stakeholders of this university are the parents. Dear parents, a few years ago, you placed your children in the care of this university, believing in their academic journey would be rewarding with us. Today, I stand here extremely happy to welcome you to the graduation ceremony of your wards. I'm sure you are proud of their achievements of your dear children. A very special welcome to all the graduating Christites watching this ceremony. This ceremony is dedicated to you for your achievements and accomplishments at this university. Welcome, one and all. Thank you.
After those warm words of welcome, Honorable Vice Chancellor Dr. Father Abraham VM will now address the graduating students and their parents, after which he will invite Father Chancellor to declare the convocation ceremony open.
Good evening, everyone. It's my great pleasure as Vice Chancellor to welcome you to this graduation ceremony of Christ University. This is not only the day which marks the end of your long academic journey at Christ University, but also the day we can celebrate together having gone through a stressful and innovative pandemic semester where you have come out as winners. And here you are today, ready to receive your certificates as a result of your resilience and hard work. Congratulations to the class of 2021, parents, teachers, and everyone who contributed to this academic journey successfully. The past year demonstrated the commitment of our university community in a year marked by unprecedented challenges brought by the COVID-19 pandemic and captures the stellar work of the students, faculty, administrators, and management of Christ family. You have transitioned from being part of a vibrant community here in our wonderful campus to learning and completing your studies remotely in the university. We have made some extraordinary changes as a university and have stepped up our activities by way of crisis management. We also have played our part in the nation's response to the COVID crisis by following protocols, instituting guidelines, and maintaining physical distancing and containment measures. Today, we are here to celebrate your achievements. I'm sure you came to Christ University because you wanted to be part of a great place of learning. You wanted contacts and local exposure. You wanted to extend your academic and professional networks. You wanted to test yourself and your caliber. And most importantly, you wanted to equip yourself for the next phase of your life and career. While you were here, you would have enriched the learning communities you interacted with. You would have made new friends, and you would have explored new horizons. I'm sure you have engaged in a whole range of activities, reinforcing your mettle and confidence to face this uncertain world and navigate your way through to your goals successfully. I'm confident that as you graduate from this university, you graduate as a competent individual of high achievement who has tested the resilience quotient and have triumphed against all odds. As you step out into a new changed world from graduation today, you will realize how much the world desperately needs you to help remake and reshape it with the skills and ability and the kind of commitment which characterize a Christite and the Christ vision of excellence and service. When we confer the degrees to you today and celebrate your great efforts, we are testifying to the fact that your efforts will take you to still greater heights, and together we will rebuild the world for a better future for all of us. Here he is saluting your achievements and wishing you every success. This last year for the campus community of Christ was one of the firefighting to contain a global pandemic, adapt to disruptions, and to continue our research, teaching, and administration under new and challenging circumstances. I would like to take this opportunity to remember and acknowledge the enormous debt of gratitude the university owes to you, the class of 2021, for your support and trust in us and to all of the staff. Firstly, I would like to thank our maintenance staff. They are at the front line of keeping our campus and the buildings in it safe for our use. One positive effect of the crisis that I have observed generally has been our heightened awareness that our well-being depends on those whose work is too often as invisible as it is invaluable. Today, I want to pay particular tribute to those who have kept the public places sanitized, lights on, the computer networks running, the advice to staff and students flowing, our caretakers and caregivers whose support underlies all aspects of the learnings we engaged in and the learnings we shared. I did observe a deep sense of loss that was all-pervasive during these turbulent times. Some of us lost a family or friends to COVID-19. Some of us felt the acute loss of certain freedoms to travel without restrictions, to use certain libraries or laboratories, to attend conferences, to socialize freely with the friends and colleagues. We have missed the dynamics of academic life through peer interaction, where chance meetings and prolonged conversations in the dining hall or the commons could lead to interesting projects and significant initiatives. Our homes performed different roles, sometimes as school, library, office, and gym. Our private spaces became public, and screen time and screen fatigue hit all of us adversely. Despite all of these, appreciate how you bounced back after being weary of uncertainty and upheaval. I also know that we have learned and made significant gains personally, professionally, and academically during this pandemic. So, without for a moment downplaying the difficulties this academic year has brought us, I want to celebrate our achievements, our resilience, our optimism, and our positivity. That is the true Christ-like spirit that survives. I also want to recognize the enormous effort that our faculty members put in to adapt to new ways of working when COVID hit us, and how rapid and successful our adaptation has been. In general, we used a combination of online and recorded lectures, hybrid teaching, and online meetings, enabling students to undertake all the planned teaching, learning, and assessments. Your constructive feedback and grateful testimonials were the accolade they earned for their drive and support. Remember, class, do not be afraid to fail if you love something. Believe in the best. Think your best. Give your best at your work. Have a goal for your best. Never be satisfied with less than your best. And in the long run, things will turn out for the best. There will be obstacles, difficulties, and temporary defeats on your world journey, but look at them as opportunities you find along the way that make your life better. Remember to have a purpose, a vision, follow your passion, transform your dreams to reality, and create the progress the world needs. I wish you more power and success, and pray that you are always proud and a happy alumnus of Christ University. Thank you. I remain. I have the honor to request you, Father Chancellor, to declare the convocation ceremony open.
This convocation ceremony of Christ deemed to be university has been called to award the degrees to the candidates who, in the examinations held for the purpose, have been certified to be worthy of the same. I declare the convocation ceremony open. Let the candidates for the various degrees under the School of Arts and Humanities, School of Social Sciences, School of Sciences, School of Commerce, Finance and Accountancy, School of Business and Management, School of Engineering and Technology be presented.
The Controller of Examinations, Dr. Johnny Joseph, will now present the candidates to the Chancellor.
Father Chancellor, I wish to present to you the candidates named in the list for the degrees of Bachelor of Arts, Bachelor of Commerce, Bachelor of Business Administration, Bachelor of Hotel Management, Bachelor of Education, Bachelor of Technology, Bachelor of Arts with Bachelor of Law, Bachelor of Business Administration with Bachelor of Law, Bachelor of Computer Applications, Master of Arts, Master of Science, Master of Commerce, Master of Business Administration, Master of Social Work, Master of Technology, Master of Computer Applications, Master of Law, Master of Philosophy, Doctor of Philosophy, and Postgraduate Diploma in International Education. They have been examined and found qualified for the said degrees and the diploma, to which I pray they may be admitted.
Thank you, Dr. Johnny Joseph. The names of the graduates who will receive their degrees in the convocation today will be announced now.
Basant Kumar Sarlabrilla Gold Medal for the Best Outgoing Student of School of Law goes to Lippy Parashar. Congratulations.
Bachelor of Arts, Bachelor of Law Honours, Anirudh A. Kulkarni. Anirudh A. Kulkarni has secured the first rank in Bachelor of Arts, Bachelor of Law Honours with a CGPA of 3.66 out of 4. Abhishek Bansal. Aditya G. Aditya Shankar, Ankit Chaharia, Arjun Hasija, BB Mrinal Kuttappa, Chandan B.R. Reddy, Dinu Prashant S., Gavin Ponnanna KB, Jefferson Christian Osmond Francis, Kashyap Venkatesh S., Kuntamukkala Sai Shri Sanjay, Rohit Prakash, Mark Ivor Martin, Mukund Mohapatra, Nishant Venkata Pinnamaneni, Pranav Rao N., Prithvi M. Halappa, Pushkar Paresh Mankar, Rudresh Batra, Shreya Srivastava, Susanna K. Sebastian,
Shubham Khanna, Tanish Kashyap, Uttam R., Vedansh Batwara, Yani Uttappa Muddanda, Vidyalakshmi S., Aishwarya Prasad, Akshata Niranjana, Archita Chaudhary, Buddhi Nishita Gauri, Cicely Martin, Tejaswini Girish Gowda Patil, Gangavaram Bindu Shri, Gunjanpreet Kaur, Harita Ramachandran, Jeffrey Johnson, Lippy Parashar, Manasa H.M., Monica M., Neeraja S., Nehal Lunka,
Niharika Avaru, Pratiksha C. Ullal, Priyanshi Dikshit, Sagarika Shailesh Shetty, Sandra Paul, Shanmita P., Shilpa B. Nair, Shreya Sharma, सिंधु ए, एंजल रोस विल्सन, ऑड्रिजा पराशर, ट्विंकल जे चडवा, वैष्णवी पी, वर्षा सिंह, याशी जैन, अजय मेलरिक नोरोना, रजत अरिगा के, जोमिन जोस, नितिश पांडे, मनवी भंडारी, कीर्ति गर्ग, सागरिका एस कनकन नावर, अभिषेक शुभम गेब्रियल, अभिषेक सिंह, अनुभव बैनर्जी,
Arpan Arun Chakravarti, Cherin Abraham, D'Souza Kyle Nathan, H.P. Purvik, Jihosh Paul, Joel Lalichan, Keshav Kumar S., L. Likit Sagar Reddy, Mahavir Jain G., Mehul Shandlia, Nayak Siddhartha, Partheshwar Singh, Priyam Bakliwal, Rasik Sheikh, Rajiv Xavier Rosario, Rohit Agarwal, Rupantar Chatterjee, Sahil George Arun, Sanjay Reddy, Shreyansh Ajmera,
प्रांशु सिंह, फातिमा नाहा हासन के, अभिमन्यु सिंह ठाकुर, विद्यासागर बुचपति, यशवर्धन जैन, तमीदेला मैत्री देवी, ऐश्वर्या बालकृष्णन, अनुष्का अग्रवाल, आतिरा सोमन, भावना बी, कैरल एल्सा जकैरिया, देबस्मिता भट्टाचार्जी, सृष्टि सिन्हा, गीतांजलि पी, हैना मेरी वर्गीस, सखी उदय मेहता, मधुरिमा नायर, मेरिल साजी, मुग्धा, नेहा दास, निधि मेहरा, निकिता प्रसाद, पूजा सिंह, प्रियंका पुन्ना, रोशिका ए बाबू, साक्षी आनंद, सैरा शाजन, शारदा बीएन, श्रेया एलिजा सनी, श्रुति पाटिल, स्नेहा डे, स्टेफनी हेडन, तनीषा सुदर्शन, वैष्णवी प्रताप,
Vedika Kejriwal, Rishika R. Nayak, Vaishnavi Srinivasan, Rishabh Singh, Mahima M. Chabria, Mahima S., Adit Hemant Chandan Gaudar, Ankit M. Kumar, Akshat Gogna, Anish Kundu, Anubhav Sharma, Ashray R. Vishnu, Bodhisattva Som, Charian Chako Manayat, Dhruv Ratish Balan, Ikansh Chandra, Janmajay Shukla, Kumar Vinayagam Gupta, L.M. Amit, Manav Dwivedi, Mohtasham Sharif, Nikunj Gautam Mehta, Prahlad Sriram, Pratyay Bhaskar, Raghunandan K.S., Mapye Anna Vimbai Anupa,
रोहित महेश्वरी, निकिता, संख अनिकेत, शौर्या पांडे, Nishantini R, Skanda Arun Kumar, Srivatsan S, Tushar, Sarah Daniel, Ashini Rai, Akanksha A. Reddy, Amrita S. Nair, Anukriti Bhattad, S. Sridula, Bhavana B, Chaya K, Deepa Padmar, Ishani Ashutosh Vaidya, Gauri M. Belwadi, Ipshita Vedajna, Ishika Agrawal, Kanya Pratima V, Kritika P. Trivedi, Mahima, Meryl Mariam Biju, Nandini Rajesh, Neha Rajgopal, Nidhi Srivatsa, Vindhya V, Ruth Sarah Koshi, Sana Javed, Sanjana John, Shifali G,
Shreya Narayanan, Kritika Lakhotia, Sneha Mohanty, Suneha Bandari S, Krishnashri Dayanidhi, Urshila Pandit, Varsha Rajesh, Vibha G. S, Deepika Vishweshwara, Charuta Nair, Karthik N, Anne Maria Matthew, V. Sharati, Tanushri Das, Akash Rao, Sudhanshu Jibakate, Mahipal Singh Rathore, Varun Raj N, Saket Sharma,
Bachelor of Business Administration, Bachelor of Law Honours, Madhumita Keshavan. Madhumita Keshavan has secured the first rank in Bachelor of Business Administration, Bachelor of Law Honours with a CGPA of 3.54 out of 4. Abin Philip, Aditya Sen Gupta, Alan Prince, Anant Singh, Anurag A. Rao, Arvind Rao, Ashish Sancheti, C. Anirudh Arjun, D. Mascarenis Varun Zeferino, Dhananjay Khanna, Ishwar Girish, Gautam Tilak VB, Harshvardhan Ranawat, Irfan Ziraj, Karan R. Punjabi, Khushal Mittal, Kochausif Tims Pothin, Kunal Saini, Manpreet Singh, Puru Rohatgi, Rohan S. Naik, Sabyasachi Banerjee, Sagar Khandre, Samar Kalra, Satvik, Shantanu Krishnan, Tanay Tiwari, Yashwant Reddy, Abhirami B, Ananya Raghavendra, Anusha G. Rao, Arya Kuttan, Bhargavi T,
Divya Joseph, Felina Eugene Das, Isha Mitruka, Kartika Nair, Kirti Jaya, Lakshmi Muralidhar, Maitri Joshi, Megha Elizabeth Vinod, Mridamka Ansi Justin, Namita D. Melvin, Nandini Nair, Nidhi G, Parvati Giri, Sachi Awate, Sagarika Kuniru, Sakshi Modani, Shweta Surana, Tanya Bharti, Vayu Goyal, Vidisha Gupta, Akash Sugmar, Ashish Raj Sai Prasad, Abe Matthews, Aditya Singh, Akash Shukla, Anish Gopi, Ankit Jain, Arwa Jarus Priyatam,
Arvind Mohan, Ashwand S, Divtej, Ishan Khera, Faiz Afsar Seth, Girish Murugesh, Harshit Jain, Hasit Rajesh Ved, Kapil Krishnan, Karthikeyan S, KN Kariyappa, Kuberinder Bajaj, Kushal Gowda BS, Manish S. Reddy, Mehul Seth, Nimit Khattar, Chitrang Singh Rathore, Shashank Balan, Shan Wasim, Shravan S. Kashyap, Suryanshu Priyadarshi, Thomas G. Kolat, Yashraj Srivastava, Aishat Alson Sadiq, Anjana Ramesh, Anushka Ambly,
Christy Joseph, Divija G, Janvi K. M, Kanika Lahoti, Kritika Dination, Meenakshi Singh, Nancy Wadhwa, Nidhi Mehta, Nityashree Narayan, Purvika Chandanam, Priyanka Dodaya, Rachel Jacob Taragan, Rupika S, Sabiha Rahman, Sakshi Agarwal, Saloni Mittal, Sapni G. Krishna, Shivani R, Saumya Singh, Tripti C, Vartika Rangta, Shivaprakash M. Nagrale, Sudanva Raghu, Adarsh K, Abhijit J,
Master of Law, Constitutional and Administrative Law, Aisha Bilal. Aisha Bilal has secured the first rank in Master of Law, Constitutional and Administrative Law with a CGPA of 3.8 out of 4. Ahmed Amin AF, Banikatti Deepak, Ishwarachari Karthik, Hetav Ram Kumar, Kaustuva Vikas Nath, Naveen A. Varki, Vinay S, Ashmita Nayanar Raj, Bhavya Pandey, Gundi Meda Supriya Ann, Jareen Joseph, Nair Sneha Murlidharan, Pooja Kurian, Sandra Sunny, Sri Lakshmi T.S., Vasavi L.S., Veena T.S., Shweda S., Shivani Mishra, Aditya Narayan S.K., Praisy Thomas, Abdur Rahman N., Master of Law, Corporate and Commercial Law, Divya R. Divya R has secured the first rank in Master of Law, Corporate and Commercial Law with a CGPA of 3.71 out of 4. Abdul Jashid P, Abhishek Reji Varghese, Ajay Krishnan S, Anbu Priyan I, Ankur, Anup Emmatti A, Aryan S, Bensha C. Shaji, HVR Viresh, Jason Robert Arun, Mohammed Shahzad, Prajwal R. Hallur, Abhirami Dinesh, Akanksha Vishnoi, Angel Shaji, Anjali PM, Archa S.A., Avani Vijayan, Beblin Bez, Bhavna Tyagi, Gopavaram Ramya Teja, Harita Verma, Hitaishi N.A., Jyoti Singh, Kajal Bansal, Mirali Lakhni, Monami Ray, Neenu Anna Babu,
Parvati Chandran, Parvati Manoj, R. Sharani, Renita Genevieve Dizo, Santia B, Shalini R, Sriniti S, Shruti Verma, Sri Lakshmi, Swastika Nandi, Trisa Manjula, Vakshi, Yashi Mittal, Ocean Ratnawat, Navya Shetty Raju, Pravedita Patak, Saumya Singh, Evelyn Nisha Hamshavarshini, Kavya K,
Master of Law, Intellectual Property and Trade Law, Abhishek Porwal. Abhishek Porwal has secured the first rank in Master of Law, Intellectual Property and Trade Law with a CGPA of 3.74 out of 4. Devanandan A.B., Gautam Balaji, Kevin George, Pujit Gayan, Yashwant Kiran S, Aishwarya V, Ammu V. Nair, Ananya Pandey, Anjali T.A., Atira Rajivan, Swati B, Cecil Teresa Savio, K.P. Munsira, Carolyn Valsalan, Kirtana Carmel, C.R. Madhumita, Nilofer Shali J, Pendekanti Lakshmi Supraja,
Pratiksha R, Rajana C, Rupkata Roy, Sundaru Sai Shruti, Swagata Paul, Udita Sen Gupta, Uttara Ashokan, Varsha Ratnam, Basam Shiva Teja, Indrani Chowdhury.
The Honorable Chancellor will confer the degrees. I request all the graduates to stand up.
By virtue of the authority vested in me as the Chancellor of Christ deemed to be University, I hereby admit you to the various degrees, having been examined, certified, and approved by the University under different schools. I prevail on you that ever in your life and conversation, you show yourself worthy of the degree awarded.
Thank you, Father. Dr. Jane Matthew, Dean, School of Business and Management, will administer the pledge to the graduates. I request the graduates to remain standing while the pledge is administered.
All the graduates, as you stand up, please keep your right palm close to your heart and repeat the pledge after me. As a graduate of Christ deemed to be university, I promise to uphold the dignity, honor and prestige of this university. I will cherish the core values and graduate attributes inculcated in me in this temple of learning, and will uphold them in the journey of my life. I will conduct myself with honesty and integrity, taking responsibility for my actions, and respecting the rights, opinions, and dignity of all. I will use my knowledge, experience, and skills to the best of my ability for the advancement of learning, for the well-being of the community, and for public good. I will strive to create a better society with a sense of fairness, social justice, and environmental responsibility. I will follow the path of righteousness with respect to all ethical considerations to prove myself a worthy citizen of my country. As I leave the portals of my alma mater, I promise to carry on the good tradition that I belong to. In whatever I do, strengthened by the mission and guided by the vision of excellence and service. I take this pledge by reaffirming my faith in God Almighty, who will always be my guiding spirit.
Congratulations on your accomplishment. This is indeed a proud and a memorable moment. I request the graduates to be seated. Our Honorable Chancellor, Dr. Father Paul Achandi, is a guiding force and an inspiration enabling Christ deemed to be university to grow from strength to strength. We request Father to address the new graduates of our university.
Reverend Dr. Abraham VM, Honorable Vice Chancellor, Reverend Dr. Joe Ceci, Honorable Pro Vice Chancellor, Dr. Anil Joseph Pinto, Registrar, faculty members, parents, students, ladies and gentlemen. It's indeed a matter of great honor and privilege to attend the convocation ceremony of Christ deemed to be university. In this uncertain and unpredictable time of pandemic, Christ has made great breakthrough in the learning process, research and publications, placements, infrastructure, social outreach, and recent NIRF ranking. This has been made possible through the visionary leadership of Reverend Dr. Abraham CMI, Honorable Vice Chancellor, and the hard work of every member of Christ University. I congratulate the entire Christ University family for transforming young adolescents into responsible and mature adults with professionalism, moral integrity, and other life skills. Christ has always been a unique institution with its spirit of togetherness, innovation, and social outreach, animated by proactive management and creative faculty members. Dear graduates, You are the chosen few to be part of this privileged community of Christ deemed to be university. And you can be ever proud of your alma mater, Christ. Saint Kuriakos Elias Chavara, the founder of CMI Convocation, who pioneered the cause of inclusive education in a caste-ridden society, had a big dream of an enlightened and empowered society through education. And today, Christ deemed to be university continues his legacy and vision, and it has made all the difference in Christ University. The university's soul lies in the mark it leaves on the students. What happens in our classrooms today will happen in larger society tomorrow. Christ wants to transform the destiny of the nation and the world through its students. Dear students, while you graduate from Christ, you are sent with a great mission to shape an inclusive world where we celebrate the dignity and respect of every person with a sense of equality and fraternity. COVID-19 has changed the realities of our lives, and it has opened a new geostrategic world order. Having tasted the comfort of virtual classroom and connected with the best resources in World Wide Web, we are evolving as global citizens. The problems and the solutions of the new world are no more regional or national, but global. Hence, university education shall transform the students into citizens of the world, to go beyond regional borders and to appreciate diversity in multicultural contexts. According to Cardinal John Henry Newman, narrow specializations produce narrow minds. That is why Christ emphasizes an inter-faculty and multidisciplinary approach in the classroom and campus life beyond classrooms with a rare student mix from different nations and cultures. This new world order has brought disruptions in organizations, and some organizations struggle to exist as there are critical gaps in connecting with the new normal. There is a very famous saying from Paul Graham, co-founder of Y Combinator, which goes, "When experts are wrong, it is often because they are experts on an earlier version of the world." His Holiness Dalai Lama recently stated, "I started my Buddhist education as a child, and although now I am 86, I am still learning. I encourage the Buddhists to be the 21st century Buddhists and to discover what the teaching really means and puts into practice." To survive and succeed in today's volatile world, openness, resilience, personal humility, professional will, and continuous learning become the success mantra. Mahatma Gandhi, the father of nations, said that 7 things will destroy us. They are wealth without work, pleasure without conscience, knowledge without character, business without morality, science without humanity, religion without sacrifice, and politics without principle. The antidote of each of these deadly sins is moral integrity or character. That is why character needs to be the characteristic of a Christite. You can make any profession the noblest profession if you perform with personal modesty and sense of service to the community. More than being a mediocre professional or a laptop laborer, a Christite shall stand out with his moral standing and sense of social responsibility. Ethical life is one of the best antidotes to most of the world's today's illnesses. Every student who graduates from Christ has an obligation to live the core values of the institution and to make a difference in the lives of your organizations and the people around, especially the poor and the marginalized. May Lord Jesus Christ, the light of the world, be your light on your path. Remember, being a Christite, you are called to be the light of the world. Thank you.
After those inspiring words, the president of the University Alumni Association, Mr. Jugnu Oberoi, wishes to felicitate our new graduates. Mr. Oberoi belongs to the first batch of graduating students of erstwhile Christ College in 1969.
Dignitaries on and off the dais, proud parents, my fellow graduating batch of Christites. My namaskaram, walaikum salam, sat sri akal, and a very good evening to one and all. My friends, lend me your ears as I stand before you as a terrified speaker but a proud Christite. As I am considered as the first batch, you too will be remembered as the first graduating batch totally cleared through a virtual learning year. Be grateful to the management, faculties for their effort and your efforts too in reaching today's event. Before me, speakers have given you some sound advice. Let me now, as your senior, add a few thoughts. As you graduate from one of the top universities in the country, do keep its banner flying high. This day, I wish to remind you of two very small but important aspects which we tend to forget. Take a moment and remember personally and go and thank the old couple as you address your dear parents for walking the distance with you all these years. After his father's death, the son decided to leave his mother at an old age home. One day, he received a call from the home that his mother was critical and on the dying bed. The son rushed there and asked his mother, "What can I do for you, Ma?" She replied, "Please, can you install a fan in this home as there are none? Also, can you put a fridge for the betterment of food, as many a times I have slept hungry?" The son was surprised and asked her, "Ma, while you were here, you never complained to me." His mother, with tears, replied, "My son, it's okay, dear. I have managed the heat, the hunger, but I fear when your children will send you here, you will not be able to bear it." Christites, these are everyone's parents. Just go at least and say 2 words, thank you to them, and assure them you will try to guide them in their twilight years. I do not remember if I've said these 2 words to my parents, but I long to do so today. But fate has separated us. Let history not be repeated with you. In the same spirit, our scriptures tell us that we bow to our gurus before we bow to the Lord above. These faculties have given you all their wealth, the wealth of knowledge, which no money can buy us, or each one of us could have been a Bill Gates. Do drop by and meet them. You will find tears of joy in their eyes when you update them on your success. I now leave you with an odd philosophy for life, which my late father gave me at my graduation. It says as follows: man comes into this world without his consent, leaves it against his will, And while on earth, he is misguided and misunderstood. In infancy, he is an angel. In boyhood, he is a devil. And in manhood, he is a fool. If he has a wife and children, he is a chum. And if he is a bachelor, he is inhuman and mean. If he enters a public house, he is a drunkard. And if he stays out of it, he is a miser. If he is poor, he has no brains. And if he is rich, he has all the luck in the world and is a crook. If he has brains, he's too smart. If he goes to the temple, he's an hypocrite. And if he stays away, he's a sinner. If he gives for charity, it's for publicity and advertisement. And if he does not, he's stingy. When he comes into this world, everybody wants to kiss him. Before he leaves the world, everybody wants to kick him. If he dies young, he had a great future. And if he lives to a ripe old age, everybody hopes he has made a will. It is therefore impossible to please everyone. Do your duty. Be fearless. Use your common sense, which is so uncommon. And if you make mistake, it's better than doing nothing. Hence, keep smiling. Nobody wants to hear your troubles, as they have wagon loads of their own. Signing off, I always say, Mere dost, kabhi alvida mat kehna. Remember, the gates of a campus are always open for its alumni. March on, my Christites, march on. God bless you, Godspeed. Jai Hind.
The time that you have spent in this university will live forever in your memories. Let us now hear from Mr. Shriyam Agrawal, Department of Commerce, Finance and Accountancy, who will share the sentiments of the new graduates. Following this, the university choir will render the farewell song, and this will be followed by a dance performance by the students of performing arts.
Warm greetings to our Chancellor, Reverend Father Paul Achandi, Vice Chancellor, Reverend Father Abraham VM, esteemed dignitaries, members of the staff, proud parents, and of course, the graduating batch of 2021. I feel extremely privileged to share the sentiments on behalf of the graduating students of Christ, Bangalore. To be a graduate has been a dream for most of us even before we started our college lives, a dream that we all lived through during very turbulent times. However, it was a dream that we have all fulfilled. And today, we stand here awakened and inspired only to dream bigger. It seems like only yesterday when we first stepped into this university, making an important decision and entering into a whole new phase in our lives. And if we think about it, not much has changed. We continue to make big decisions in the course of our progress. But today, there is a difference. We are far more prepared, better informed, and we have each built a reserve of knowledge against what's to come. The past year, we have transformed, personally, professionally, and socially. When the world said, change the way you learn, Christ University embraced the change. From online classes to online fests, and from online CIA presentations to online exams, our university left no stone unturned to give us the best of experience in the timeliest manner. On behalf of all the students, I pay my sincere gratitude to the management of Christ University, led by our beloved Vice Chancellor, for standing firm in its resolution and not letting the pandemic impact our education. I thank the members of the faculty for teaching us lessons beyond the textbooks, for altering our perceptions in the right direction, and for reinforcing the motto of excellence and service that this institution stands by. We would not have reached this memorable stage in our lives had it not been for the unceasing faith and constant support of our parents and family. Undoubtedly, they have been our greatest cheerleaders. Thanks to all our wonderful friends who have stood by us, whether in adversity or in prosperity, in learning or in experimenting. Thank you for giving us crash courses right before the exams, for encouraging us before every placement interview, for helping us turn in our assignments in the Google Classroom right before the deadlines, for getting us an extra cup of coffee from ICH, for cheering us at the top of their voices when we performed, for designing posters for the webinars which we organized, and for requesting the teachers to give us attendance when we were late to class by 5 minutes. Together, we did it all, and today, we can claim that we all did it together. congratulations to each one of us. I will be incomplete in my address if I do not express my heartfelt appreciation to the non-teaching staff, the security guards, the housekeeping staff, and all other unsung heroes who made our journey at Christ worth cherishing forever. Collectively, as the passing out batch of 2021, we resolute to make each and every one of you proud. This year, we might not be having our typical graduation. We might not be walking across a stage to receive our degrees. We might not be throwing our hats and getting pictures clicked with friends and family. But you know what's the more important part? That we are graduating. Graduating as lawyers, engineers, artists, entrepreneurs, managers, architects, scientists, researchers, journalists, and so much more into a world which needs our skills and talents like never before. You see, graduation isn't just defined by a piece of paper, a stage, or a hat. Graduation is defined by our courage, our preparedness, and our commitment. Do we have the courage to passionately chase our dreams? Are we prepared to step into the world which we call the new normal? Can we make a commitment to bring about a positive and lasting change in the world? If yes, then we have truly graduated. Someday, we will look back on these moments with the lessons we have learned, the hardships we have faced, and we will be reminded of the spirit and character of a true Christite, unwavering in its resolve, unbreakable in its foundation, and unrivaled in its resilience. If we look hard enough, immersed in this uncertainty, the disruption, and in some cases the tragedy, we will find that there are pages unwritten, stories untold, and a new chapter in our lives to begin. This is not the end of our story. It is the beginning of many. Seeking the blessings of God Almighty for all our future endeavors, here's wishing you the best of everything. Thank you for this opportunity.
Everybody dream, dream, dream on. Sing with me, sing for the ears, sing for the laughter, sing for the tears.
Every time that I look in the mirror, all these lines on my face getting clearer.
The past is gone, it's gone.
It went by like dust to dawn.
Isn't that the way?
Everybody's going through dues and life to pay.
I know that nobody knows where it comes and where it goes. I know it's everybody's thing. You got to lose to know how to win. Sing with me, sing for the ears, sing for the laughter, sing for the tears. Sing with me, it's just for today. Maybe tomorrow the Lord will take you away.
Just dream.
Just dream, dream on. Oh, dream on.
Just dream.
Just dream, dream on. Oh, sing with me, sing for the years, sing for the laughter, sing for the tears. Sing with me if it's just for today. Maybe tomorrow the Lord will take you away. Dream on, dream on, dream on, dreams till the dream come true. Dream on, dream on, dream on, dream on, dream on, dream on, dream on. Oh,
ಪ್ರೀತಿಯು ನಮದಾಗಲಿ ನಮ್ಮಯ ಜೀವನ ಪಯಣದಲ್ಲಿ ಪ್ರೀತಿಯು ನೀತಿಯು ನಮದಾಗಲಿ ನಮ್ಮಯ ಜೀವನ ಪಯಣದಲ್ಲಿ ಹೊಸ ಬಾಳ ಬೆಳಕನ್ನು ಕರುಣಿಸು ನೀ ಜಗವನ್ನು ಬೆಳಗಲು ಕೃಪೆ ನೀಡು ನೀ ಸರ್ವ ಸೃಷ್ಟಿಕರ್ತ ದೇವರೇ ನಮ್ಮ ಜೀವನ ನಿಮಗರ್ಚನೆ ನಿಮ್ಮ ಪ್ರೀತಿಯ ಸವಿ ನೆನಪಲೇ ನಮ್ಮ ಬದುಕೆಲ್ಲ ನಿಮಗರ್ಪಣೆ ನಮ್ಮ ಸರ್ವಸ್ವ ನೀನೇ ತಾನೇ ಸ್ತುತಿ ವಂದನೆ ಪರಮಾತ್ಮನೇ ಸರ್ವ ಸೃಷ್ಟಿಕರ್ತ ದೇವನೇ ನಮ್ಮ ಜೀವನ ನಿಮಗರ್ಚನೆ ನಿಮ್ಮ ಪ್ರೀತಿಯ ಸವಿ ನೆನಪಲ್ಲಿ ನಮ್ಮ ಬದುಕೆಲ್ಲ ನಿಮಗರ್ಪಣೆ
On that beautiful note, we come to the end of the convocation ceremony. With the permission of the Honorable Chancellor, the convocation ceremony is closed. I now invite Dr. Nithila Vincent, Head, Department of Commerce, to deliver the vote of thanks.
It is my proud privilege to propose the vote of thanks on this momentous occasion. I would like to commence my duty by expressing our gratitude to Honorable Chancellor Dr. Father Paul Achandi, who has most graciously presided over this ceremony, awarded the degrees to the students, and for his words of advice and wisdom. Thank you, Father. Honorable Vice Chancellor Dr. Father Abraham VM has guided us in organizing this ceremony meaningfully and efficiently, and with a convocation address which was insightful and inspirational. I take this opportunity to express our deeply felt gratitude to you, Father. My sincere thanks to Pro Vice Chancellor Dr. Father Joe C.C. and Registrar Dr. Anil Joseph Pinto, the deans, directors, HODs, program coordinators, members of the faculty, Alumni President and the Alumni Association office bearers and members for their contribution to this ceremony. My heartfelt gratitude to Controller of Examinations, Dr. Johnny Joseph, for his tireless efforts to ensure that despite the pandemic's challenges, the examinations were held efficiently and the convocation ceremony is held on time. I would also wish to thank the choir, student welfare office, support staff, and the technical team for the tremendous support in making this occasion a memorable and smooth one. My sincere thanks to parents who have trusted us and collaborated with us in making their children and wards worthy recipients of degrees. The stars of this occasion are the class of 2021. Congratulations, you made it. You deserve a standing ovation and a thundering applause because you have completed your academic programs under the most challenging circumstances possible, a pandemic period. You must have had grand dreams about university education, campus life, teamwork, friends, fun and get-togethers, and most importantly, on-campus convocation with your family and friends. But COVID-19 changed many of those wishes. Thank you all, dear graduating students, for having embraced the virtual mode of the new normal so well. We are so impressed by your perseverance and diligence through this last couple of years that has been very challenging. A convocation ceremony is the beginning of a long dream. So march on with the true Christite spirit. Thank you all.
As we come to the close of the proceedings of this memorable Convocation 2021, kindly stand up for the national anthem.
जनगण मन अधिनायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता पंजाब सिंध गुजरात मराठा द्राविड उत्कल बंगा विंध्य हिमाचल यमुना गंगा उच्चल जलधि तरंगा तव शुभ नामे जागे तव शुभ आशीष मांगे गाहे तव जय गाथा जन गण मंगलदायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता जय हे जय हे जय हे जय 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 हे